Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar. There was some technical errors with the previous webinar, that's why it is not recorded properly and my screen was not showing properly. So that's why I'm re-recording this session for you. With that being said, let's start. Today I'll be sharing with you the second part of the entire 4 series where we'll be covering the entire chain of the order to cash workflow. And what I would like to share with you is that we will be sharing the slides, the recording, and because this is pre-recorded, there will be no questions. But if you have any questions, feel free to email or approach us. Let me share a bit about Symtrax. Symtrax, we have been helping our client businesses to fully digitalize the process and for them to be EDI ready. And how we do that is by tailoring, by creating a custom-made solution as per their requirement, as per your business need and your processes. Last but not least is we have been here for more than 35 years, helping globally more than 3,000 companies. I'm here today, I'm talking to you from the Singapore office, which is our latest office, which will serve the APAC region. That being said, I'll be covering the recap of our previous webinar, our first part of the webinar, and we'll be covering the current situations for the order shipping, some food for thoughts, what it can be, case studies, and demonstration. Again, there will be no Q&A. Let me do a quick recap on our previous session, which is on the order management. For the order management, we have covered on how you can receive orders and how you can fill in your orders more streamlined, more automatically. And why do you want to do that? You want to do that is because for manual inbound processing, it takes a lot of time just to process a single document. One PO can take maybe 5 to 30 minutes, depending on the content, on the complexity. And because of this, your order volumes are limited by how many people you have processing it and how fast they can process it, which is what we want to avoid. By automating this system, you can have automated data extraction and document generation in which when a document comes in, this document extraction will happen instantaneously. And the creation of the next document, be it your GRN, your SO, your invoices, any documents that you need to create can be automated. Last but not least is because of the minimal to no human intervention, the order growth is independent on how fast your team can process it. We have already covered on the first 2 portions, which is when you receive order and fill order. So we'll be covering what happened next is that once you fill in your order, you need to ship your order. So this is what I'll be focusing on today. We'll have 3 more portions, which is the creating invoice, receiving payment, recording of payment. This will be covered on the next 2 webinars. Stay tuned for that webinars. So for the current situations when we are talking to our existing clients or any prospect, they are sharing with us that they are creating their GRN, which is a good receive note, or some people call it delivery note, and the advanced shipping notice, which is ASN. These are created manually based on their PO documents. And when they print it out or they export it out from the system, any other enhancement, any other reformatting is done manually. If you need to add a QR code, you need to add a barcode, you need to add a certain database, certain text, or certain images. This will need to be done one by one outside the system. For the signature processes, some of them are still printing the documents out, passing it to the next signee to get the signature, and last but not least is to scan it and archive it to the system. But for these particular processes, these are timely, these are human intensive, and of course, if you're printing it with paper, you need to consider the paper wastage and also the storage limitation. Some food for thought is that how often throughout your entire processes, how often do you come across incorrect documents? For example, you're creating a GRN or ASN based on the other PO file, a wrong PO file, or maybe some information in your GRN or ASN is wrong. You're supposed to send 10 items, but you key in 8 items or maybe more. And when you are outputting or when you're printing out your label, when you're printing out your documents, because of maybe the text are too small, you can't highlight it, or maybe due to other visual reason, it is sent out to the wrong destination. Last but not least is that maybe due to some miscommunication, you forget to send out your ASN or you send it out to the wrong person, whether the content is wrong. All these miscommunications will definitely cause some logistical issues, which we want to avoid. So we do have clients who approaches us to help them to automate their reformatting processes when they print it out, the label from either SAP or IBM. What we'll do for them is we will help them to enhance the visual concept, the visual aspect of the label, make this text bigger, make this bold, or change the color, highlight it. So this can be done automatically. And when we're coming back to the manual processes, in your opinion, how expensive? For me, I would say it's very expensive is because not only it is slow, you need to consider how many people are involved just to manually extract the data, create your documents, do some changes. And all this, all this is error prone, which again might lead to extra reworks, extra time consumed. According to some data that we have researched is that more than 3/4, so around 76% manufacturers, they admit that 10% of their organization goods are labeled incorrectly, maybe shipped out wrongly. 61% is due to mislabeling, and around 5% are due to shipping errors. So the links are there for you to read. Again, you'll receive the slide later after this. So all these slow, time-consuming process on low-value tasks, in my opinion, could have been used for something more important, something more critical to your business processes. And imagine if you can save 2 hours per person every day, and you use it on some other more valuable, more value-added task, how much value can you bring to your company? This is what I would like to share with you today on the automated state, or what it can be, or what we have done for our clients. Is that when we are talking about document enhancements, when you print out from your ERP system, again, whether it is Oracle, SAP, with a specific format that might or might not be able to be changed, we'll be able to help you to automate this process in which we will customize the looks, the fields, whatever you want to have inside the documents. And once you have created these documents, all these distributions, whether you want to archive it internally to your server, whether you want to send it to your supervisor for signature, whether you want to send it to your clients, all this can be automated and you don't need to manually send one by one. Last but not least is when your team or your clients receive these documents, they can sign it digitally using their desktop, using their mobile tablet, rather than they print it out, sign it, send it back to you. To share with you some case studies on an auto ancillary clients that we are currently helping. These clients, they are manufacturers of automotive safety equipment. And what happened is that they have a lot of data, a lot of documents interchanges between them and the buyers. And because the buyers mandate them on a certain process of uploading the document, in which the buyers tell them, hey, you need to upload to our system via API to get your ASN notice, to get your ASN numbers. And this is something you must do. That being said, what they do is their suppliers share with them the API, and they want our client to just upload directly into their ERP system. So what we do for them is simple. What we do for them is when our clients want to send an invoice, want to send an ASN to their suppliers or their buyers, what we'll do is we'll help to extract the documents and we will add in any enhancement, which I'll discuss later. So one enhancement is that when they are sending to the suppliers, sorry, they are sending to the buyer's API system, this API system can only receive a JSON file. So originally the invoice is in PDF format, will help to convert to a JSON file. And once we send it out to the API will send you a certain digit, a certain code, the ASN number. And for this ASN number, it needs to be there in the invoice. So that's what we do. We help to enhance the document. We help to include this ASN number automatically back into the invoice, and then only then they will be able to send it back to the manufacturer, to the suppliers, and to the buyers. Another case studies is FMCG companies, and these FMCG companies use us for GRN automation. What they will do is they will receive a delivery note from the seller, from their supplier, and what we'll do is that when this email address receive these documents, we will extract out the documents and will do some matching according to the extracted data. For example, this delivery notes is for this particular PO, then we'll create a GRN out of it. And when we create a GRN out of it, we'll automatically distribute back to the suppliers that, hey, we have already signed this is your GRN. And also they will save it, they'll archive it back to their database. So with that being said, I would like to share with you some demonstration on how it will look like for both the GRN creation and also for the document workflow and signatures. So I'll be showcasing to you two demos. I've already pre-recorded the video. Let me share with you both videos. So for the first videos, it will be on the GRN creation, which I will play now. In this process, what I'll do is I'll upload, or I'll need to create a GRN based on this particular invoice. So what I'll do is I'll just upload this invoice back to the system. And once the system receives these documents, what the system will do is they'll send you an email saying that, hey, we have created this GRN number. And if you want to check whether it has been created, you can go to your SAP system, which I'll do now. I'll go to my SAP system to make sure that this document is created in my SAP system. Okay, so I'll key in the MiGo code and I'll paste the GRN numbers. So for this demo, I'll be using SAP, but if you're using some other ERP, you'll be able to connect with them as well. So what I'll do now is I'll check, yes, the document or the GRN is already there. It has been created into the SAP. What I'll do now is I'll need to have this GRN signed by my clients. So I'll print it out to Compleo again. What Compleo will do is Compleo will directly distribute this to whoever needs to sign, which is in this example is the client. The client will receive a signature link, and when they click on this link, they can use either their mobile phone, tablet, or their desktop. So you'll be provided, or they will be provided with one signature box and one comment box or text box. So for this particular signature, I'll just draw something and just create. And what about the comment box? For the comment box, you can put in any of the comments that you have. So yeah, I can put any comments here. You can leave it empty if you want. So once I press send, the client, both the clients and both the sender will receive the signed documents. So you can see how intuitive and how streamlined this process is. So it will say that, oh, please find above the signed GRN. These are the GRN numbers, these are the signature. So with that being said, I would like to share the second demo with you, which is the internal document workflow. So let me get the video for you. So for this particular process, what will happen is I want to get my supervisor or my manager to sign the document before I send out. So I'll be using a purchase order for this particular demo. In this demo, I'll take a look at what or how it looks like before printing out from SAP. Before printing out from SAP, it looks something like this. And once I have printed out, what will happen is I'll receive an email, or the purchase manager will receive an email to sign this document. Similar to what you saw just now, we'll be signing it via cloud. So the purchase manager in this example can put their comments and can sign the documents. And if you take a look here, you can see that the documents format is a bit different, or it's totally different, because we have helped you to reformat the document according to your company standard. So I'll just put some comments here that it has been approved, and I'll ink it, I will sign it. So I'll just sign something, I'll just draw something there. So once I've signed it, I can position it anywhere I would like. I can readjust the size and whatnot. And once I have signed it, the next Compleo will automatically send this to the next person, which is the director in this example. So same thing, the director will receive an email saying that please take a look at this document and sign it. The difference between the manager and the director for this demo is that we have set the director to have something called digital signature, or it is a signature with a certificate. What's the difference is that this certificate will have an encrypted file, encrypted data, and it is more secure. I'll show you what I meant by more secure. First thing is you will upload a certain file, which you should be the only one that have it, with a certain password. And I'll just move the signature somewhere. Once the director has signed it, both parties, me, the purchase manager, the director, will receive the documents. And if I take a look at this document, the document will look like what you have seen just now, with a bit of difference. The difference here will be, if I were to go to the digital signature, or the signature that the director put just now, I'll be able to see that it is a valid signature with the metadata. Signed by who, when was it signed. And if I were to go to the signature panel, I'll be able to see that this document has not been modified by the time this signature is placed. And if someone were to tamper with this document, this signature will automatically be invalid. They will say that the document has been modified. This is how secure this process or this digital signature is. Okay, let me go back to my slide. So when we are talking about digital transformation, when we are talking about improving your process, there are 4 different methods according to Deloitte. The first one will be IT transformations, in which you change your IT infrastructure to make it more robust, to make it more safe, agile. Second will be a BPM, which is a business process management strategy, where you'll try to figure out where is the inefficiency and you will try to eliminate it or make it streamlined. Third one will be outsourcing, where you will outsource, for example, your GRM creation, your some other processes to a third party or to another person. Last but not least is what I've been showing you from the start, is RPA, robotic process automation, in which we help you to automate the process, as what you have seen from the demo. And when you compare all these 4 methods, IT transformation has a high process disruption with a low predictability and speed. Why? It's because when you're doing a IT transformation, you are changing your system, you're changing your software, you need to retrain your team. And this might be disruptive to your current processes, and you can't ensure that it is faster, you can't ensure that it is more efficient. You'll need to try it before you actually know it. But on the other hand, for RPA or for Symtrax, we don't disrupt your process. For example, if you have been doing a certain process from A to B to C, we will help you to automate A to B to C. There will be no changes in your team. Your team doesn't need to be retrained. And for the speed and predictability, as you can see from the demo just now, it is a lot faster. To share with you, for example, one document processing might take maybe 5 to 30 minutes, like what I was sharing with you. But with an automation, you can reduce it significantly to maybe 1 to 2 minutes per document. And imagine that if you have hundreds of documents per day, how much time or how much value you have added to your companies. So this is where we stand. Compleo Hybrid will stand on low process disruption and high speed and predictability. That being said, thank you so much for your attention. I hope this webinar has been useful for you. If you have any questions or you wish to connect with us, with me, feel free to drop me an email, drop me a call, or you can scan this QR code to access to my LinkedIn file, and I'll be more than happy to discuss with you, to have a chat with you. Thank you so much.